Okay, so here's the second round matchup. Ironically, when I was doing the brackets randomly, I didn't think I was going to have the exact same character facing each other. I knew it was an opportunity because I knew that Sidious could face the Emperor, as well as Anakin could face Vader. So I knew it was a likelihood. But it actually happened, and it came down to this with, ironically, the Emperor beating his apprentice, and Darth Sidious beating his apprentice. Which I thought was odd. I hoped that I was doing something a little bit different, but here we go. So we're looking at this just movie. So now we have Darth Sidious, who is the prequel Emperor, and the Emperor, who is the Emperor. Now, of course, in the prequel, you do actually see him as the senator, making his way all the way through. So he's actually in all 3 films, where the Emperor is pretty much in 2. Predominantly in Return of the Jedi, where he is displayed as the end boss of this whole series, effectively, up to that point in time. So, we'll try to go through this, and the winner of this faces Count Dooku. So, intelligence. Darth Sidious actually was able to usurp control over the Senate, transferred into a galactic empire, while at the same time he also led the Separatist army. While at the same time he played all the Jedi. So he played the Senate, got them to create an army of clones, was able to stop the Jedi, find out who he is, and effectively destroy the majority of Jedi and take over the galaxy. That's impressive. If you look at what he actually accomplished in those number of films, it's amazing. He looked at a kid from a desert planet and went, I see great potential in him. I just need to twist him and mold him to become the ultimate apprentice. While at the same time, having an apprentice Darth Maul being like, yeah, that's what Darth Maul does. He died. I need to find a new one. Hello, young little boy. I'm looking forward to your future. Huh? We're talking to Dooku? Oh, no, it's okay, it's cool. It's just some kid. I'm gonna have this kid cut your hands off later, if he can, to prove he's better than you. Just saying. Just saying. So Darth Sidious did a tremendous amount of manipulating whole swaths of characters and of organizations. Now the Emperor, he was able to help develop the first planet-destroying battle station. He was there to be like, okay, we're going to do it again. And he was able to leak the proper information to be like, oh, the shield generator does not work. Okay. The battle station does not work. Okay. But your shield generator is good. But it's so undefended. Oh wait, no it's not. The shield generator is highly defended. Oh, this battle station? It totally works. Oh, your friends who showed up, the whole rebel armada that showed up to attack me? I'm jamming their frequencies. What? I allowed you to come here, Luke, so you can watch your friends be destroyed. Because you know what? My old apprentice? I think I need a new one. And that new one is you. But was he successful? Wildly no. Darth Sidious was able to play the whole Jedi Council, go through 3 apprentices, and not that manipulate the chosen one, create 2 fully functional sets of armies and pit them against each other. The whole time while they're fighting in front of them, he's grabbing every strand of power he can, manipulating all of his allies, and taking it over. Unless someone who believes that Jar Jar is actually the true evil genius that it takes over everything. Fighting ability. I'm going to give it to Sidious, because we actually see him fight against Yoda and multiple Jedi Masters. Strength. Well, I will definitely give speed. When it comes to strength, I'll give speed to Sidious because he actually, by this point in time, the Emperor, he is super atrophied. I mean, the Dark Side has taken so much life from him. These physical attributes are not really that impressive. When it comes to strength, I'll definitely give the edge in strength. Invulnerability. I might hear from this one, but I'm going to give vulnerability to the Emperor. The main reason why, when Darth Sidious is being confronted by Mace Windu, and he sends the Force lightning at Windu, Windu, since he's studied the dark side a little, is able to channel it through him and redirect it at Sidious. And it's what really begins to horribly scar and mutilate Sidious. Because he can't break the feedback loop. We see the Emperor, whose Force lightning is ridiculously more powerful. We see him as he's being picked up. We see it arc into his face. And you can tell it's hitting him, but it's not affecting him anywhere near as greatly as it did earlier on. Durability. I'm going to give this one also to the Emperor. This is going to sound really weird when I say this, because Sidious was able to do a lot more combat. When it comes to the Emperor, here's a fight with Sidious. He's going to be swinging his lightning, he's trying to use Force lightning. A fight against the Emperor is very easily him doing this. That's it. He's pointing his fingers at you. I think the Emperor in this sort of fight is not going to get tired because he's going to effectively just point his fingers at you. And he's going to just entirely... He's not going to get winded. He is the dark side. Which also means that for the next two, when it comes to the energy projection, I mean, he is so strong when it comes to the Force. If these two were to do Force lightning to each other, you would quickly realize that one has entirely foregone having to carry the lightsaber because he doesn't need to anymore. He has gotten so far beyond needing to draw a lightsaber and physically confront somebody. That's why he has Vader. He has Vader to be the guy who really scares people and kills people. And if the Emperor thinks you're worthy enough to be in his presence, it means you've done something impressive. But he also knows, too, that anybody who goes against him will have to face the unmitigated full power of the dark side. So he's got all the mental techniques that we see Sidious use, but he does them better. He's got a stronger little Force lightning than we see Sidious use. And if you look closely, he is actually toying with Luke until he decides to just flat out electrocute. That's why he's like, And he's like, and now I kill you. He's like, I've played with you. He's like, I'm just gonna zap you a little bit, have a couple lines of dialogue, zap you a little bit, couple lines of dialogue. He goes, until if the Empire ever really wanted to kill Luke, he could have instantly this Force lightning. Instead, he wanted to play with him. He was a cat who saw a mouse, and he knew that he had to play with that mouse. He doesn't get to. He doesn't need to. He doesn't have to. I think if you look at the mental manipulation that the Emperor was able to do, he still held Vader under his thumb. After everything Vader had gone through, Vader was still loyal to the Emperor. So now it comes down to that last little bit. Who really, truly, finally takes this battle? From a Force Lightning standpoint, Sidious is going to try. The Emperor's going to be like, was I ever this weak? And he's going to cut right through it. So it comes down to who ends up winning this fight. Is it the older, slightly more foolhardy Emperor? Or is it the younger, more aggressive, more power-hungry Darth Sidious? I'm going to give this fight to Sidious. Right here is what I actually envision with these two having to do battle with each other. I picture the Emperor looking at his old former self, full of disdain, seeing his former self as being weak, as being impotent. While at the same time, Sidious looking at himself and go, so I control everything. Yes. And everyone fears me. Yes. And I have Darth Vader, who is my right hand, who destroys all those who oppose me. Yes. That's when I picture Sidious looking at the true weakness of the Emperor. Because from Sidious' standpoint, he manipulated the Senate to take political power. He created an army for military power. He turned public opinion against the Jedi. He then destroyed, effectively, the majority of the Force wielders who had the ability to combat him from a spiritual standpoint. If you look at who defeats the Emperor, it is the one person he should have always had his thumb on. It's the one person he should have always controlled in Darth Vader. It was the overconfidence of the Emperor is what leads to him being destroyed. If you look at Darth Sidious, he hasn't hit that moment of being overconfident yet. He's defeated all of his adversaries to the best of his knowledge. Had he known Yoda was on Dagobah, you know he would have hunted him down. He would have destroyed him. Had he known about Luke and Leia, he would have had them destroyed. Had he known Obi-Wan was looking over Luke, he would have had him destroyed. Darth Sidious went through Darth Maul, Count Dooku, turned Anakin, the prophesized chosen one, to be his weapon of destruction. Destroyed. He had the Jedi have to lead the clone army. He used the clone army to save the Jedi, therefore buying the trust of the Jedi. While they were fighting his right-hand man, Count Dooku, and an army that he created. He perfectly manipulated multiple groups simultaneously. And when things got bad, he ended up using bounty hunters to help distance himself from everything that was going on. With the Emperor, everyone knows what it is that he's doing. He's not operating in the shadows. He is there. They don't know what he looks like. And I think that the fact that the Emperor is successful, that he's so successful, that's what's going to be his undoing. Is the fact that he is overly confident in his abilities. He believes he's got everything taken care of. Where Darth Sidious is still in that phase of he's controlling everything. He still has that hunger. And I can picture him destroying the older version of himself. It's going to be a hard-fought battle, and he's not going to look pretty when it's done. But I do think the fact that there's just so much raw initial anger in Sidious, I think he overtakes the older version of himself. So it now means, ironically, we're going to end up having a battle between Darth Sidious and Count Dooku for the third round.